Everyone has been doing marketing the completely wrong way, and I'm about to do something completely different that I haven't seen anyone speaking about, and it's actually making me extremely excited because for the longest, obviously, if you've been following me, I have an SEO background, to which I said to myself I was going to stop making content about business, but to be honest, I'm living business every single day as a consultant advising companies, and I've been shifting from doing solely SEO work to more product focused growth type of marketing. And it's not even just like paid search or paid media or anything like that. I'll talk about it in a second, but I think everyone has been doing marketing wrong. I think a lot of the tactics that people have learned over time has basically become super commoditized. I don't think there was any strategy. I think, like one of the tactics I used to use a lot when I first got started in marketing was looking at competitors' keywords, trying to identify what they were ranking for, pulling those keywords and then handing it off to my clients. But you can't, even though keywords is a huge part of SEO strategy, it's a tactic and it doesn't account for the nuance of positioning, right? That's why we have content briefs and stuff like that. But even with content briefs, you still don't really get the positioning that you really need to get. And I think marketing in general, the way people have done it, at least in the digital age, traditionally, has been all about like hype and all about all of this noise of creating these funnels and these offers and all this stuff. And I think the only reason why you need to do all of that in the first place is because you're probably in a crowded market and you're selling a product to people who have been desensitized by your market and your positioning sucks. So you have to like get people to get warmed up into all this stuff before they become a customer because your product probably isn't that good. You know what I mean? I mean, think about it. You know how many people use ChatGPT? How many funnels do you think they had to experiment with before they were able to grow at the rate that they've grown at? Probably not that many because the product is good and they have a differentiated value in the market. So naturally, people want to use it because they couldn't find anything like that anywhere else. And even as more products started to emerge, right, people still use ChatGPT because ChatGPT's positioning in the market was so different. Now, people also will use Perplexity. People also will use Microsoft Copilot. Like, there's different AIs or LLMs for different spaces. But ultimately, all of these things have differentiation. All these things have novelty. And that's why, oh, whoops, I didn't realize that I lost focus here. Hold on a second. Let me just fix this. Okay. Let's fix this. Okay. All these things have novelty. All these things have differentiation. This is why they win. And the more I started thinking about it, I started thinking to myself, like, well, if you focus on creating the best product, the product will market itself. I mean, this is how drug dealers used to sell crack. They focused on getting the best product, making sure that the crack was potent and not diluting it, and then giving it to people, and that would do the marketing for itself. And then anything else would be amplification of the product, right? And I feel like that's where we're at. Like, organic is supposed to not, like, when we think about organic, I think the truest form of organic is word of mouth. And I feel like that's being baked back into marketing because all LLMs are doing is basically synthetic word of mouth. Like, they're doing all the research for you, and then they're trying to see if like what people are saying, what the general sentiments across the web are for your product, and then they're recommending your product. And so like the brands who don't have like a unique positioning are not going to win in LLMs because LLMs thrive off of giving people hyper specific answers for specific problems. So this means positioning and product matters more than ever, especially if you want to play in this game. And then when you have a great positioning in the market, you have a great product as well, then guess what? Everything else lowers. Your advertising cost goes down because people see the product, they like the product, they want to use it, so it's less convincing them because the product is good already. So the product already sold itself, right? This looks like it's losing focus again. The product already sold itself. So at that point, like, the biggest thing that you can do is focus on, again, building a product strategy that markets itself. So this is with everything. Like, this is with service-based businesses. This is even if you're working with junk removal companies. Like, you as a advisor or as a marketer need to be able to analyze whether or not this specific business, even though it's a service-based business, is still a product, because a product is basically something that alleviates pain for someone, right? And because the product offers value. And so when people are building a business, and I'm talking about like a real business, not being a freelancer, when you're building a business, you're basically systematizing your company so that it can run without you, right? And that's a product at the end of the day. So most businesses that win, they win because they're able to productize their service. Every single time you're just playing a service game, you're unable to productize it, and you're not going to win. So you have to, so as you as a marketing consultant, you have to be able to look at the products that you're working with, the services that you're working with, and determine, are these even good services to amplify? I wrote a post about this on LinkedIn the other day. I don't know why this is like messing up. Well, let me fix it. I'm recording from my DJI Pocket Osmo. I recorded a video about this the other day on, not a video. I wrote about this the other day on LinkedIn, and I had a whole bunch of people who actually agreed with what I had to say. I used to think like, as a marketer, my the company is made money because of me. But now I start to realize, if you give me a shit product and you allow me to amplify it, it's probably going to just help you run out of money quicker, right? Because the product is not good. If you give me a good product and you help me amplify it, then it's going to allow me to make you money. And very seldom have I ever seen a good product lose. And very seldom have I ever seen a bad product win. It's like, your product has to be good at the end of the day if you want long-term sustainability in your company. So now what I'm pivoting to, because it is product advisory, right? Like, I want to be a product advisor. I want to help people understand the story of their product, right? That's very important, because stories spread. Oh, come on, why does this keep happening? It's very important because stories spread. So if we want to get a product to spread, we have to have a story, right? I want to understand how it's different, what's the positioning in the market, because sometimes that can be the thing that holds it back. Innovation, right? Like, I want to help generate ideas around building out that product and making it better and refining it. That's super important to me. So what I'm doing now is I'm restarting my Substack to not focus on talking about purpose and stuff like that, because that was a cool topic, but maybe I'll still write about it. But, I think this is really what I'm interested in now. I'm really interested in products, because I think products are what allow you to systematize business and what allows you to scale. And I care about scaling. I care about building something that grows by itself so I can remove myself from it. And I think, like, in me helping people do this, because you also have to know what type of product you want to make, but in me helping people do this, eventually I'll be able to find out what product I want to make for myself and then build one, right? So that's my goal. In the meanwhile, I want to test these theories, I want to test these, my knowledge. I want to test myself. So I'm taking a very scientific approach to this, right? That's how my content is going to be moving forward in the future. It's all going to be based off of testing, or based off of analysis, based off of breaking things down. And I think on my Substack, I'm just going to leave it as my name, like Drayshawn Ryan or whatever. And I'm going to have breakdowns of products and how they spread and what what really is the science behind a good product and behind a bad product. And I really want to take this to a whole nother level. I want to interview people in the product space. I want to interview people who are working on cool products. I want to see, I really want to get involved in product, right? I want to see like how people are thinking differently and how they're using advertising tactics to amplify something that's already good, but how are they inherently baking marketing into this product, right? Like what's the long-term strategy? So I want to like really create the guide that teaches people how to build good products through experience, through analysis, through breaking down products of the past, through like really breaking this down, through breaking down industries. I think I mostly want to focus on like SaaS companies though, and tech in general. And the reason for this is because, tech companies are at the precipice of innovation. So I care about that because I found that when I work with, like local businesses, lawyers, dentists, shit like that, which is what is mostly accessible, that shit is just boring to me, man. They do the same thing all the time. A lot of the times there's not new technology. I mean, with dentists it's a little bit different, but a lot of the times it's not new technology. A lot of the times it's rinse and repeat. It's the same story, the same strategy, the same messaging. And ultimately, like, the name of the game in those specific industries, in my opinion, is just results. Like, I think it's proximity and results. Like, are you the closest to this person? And do you have great reviews? And do you have, like, what's the before and afters of your patients? And, like, what are your results? And that will basically market itself, in my opinion. So it's very simple, honestly. And everybody's starting to do that. So the next thing is going to obviously become word of mouth. So how are you building an internal program to spread everything by word of mouth? But anyways, yeah, so I want to really break down products. And I think, like, I don't know what I'm going to do on this YouTube channel. Like, this channel might just be me interviewing these people. But I think I am going to do this on Substack. And I think I am going to contribute to, like, multiple blogs to get this out there, to get this line of thinking out there. And yeah, that's my goal. Because right now, I'm currently consulting with two, like, super huge companies. Well, one is super huge, one isn't that huge. They're both agencies. One is a design agency, one is more of a collective, but I'm a consultant. By the way, if you want to be a freelance consultant, you don't have to go get your own clients. You can just work with other agencies. There's agencies out there that literally will just tell their clients that you are a contractor, and they will hand off the clients to you. These are the types of agencies that I work with primarily. And then you have the same freedom and flexibility to do whatever you want. You know what I mean? So I have the freedom and flexibility to do whatever I want. I work primarily as a freelancer. Like, one of the agencies that I work with, I don't have to worry that much about taxes because I'm a W-2 contractor, which is a new thing that I didn't know about. So I'm a W-2 contractor. I know you probably never heard of that before. And then the other one, I'm W-9 or whatever, but or I-9, whatever it is. I'm not good with taxes, honestly. But so that's the direction for 2026. I think I've been so over SEO for so long. I don't know if you noticed it in my content, but it's just been, for me, it's just not meaningful. It's very tactical. It's very like, I'm going to steal this person's keyword strategy and I'm going to put all these links in a spreadsheet and do a redirect strategy. Or I'm going to do all this technical stuff. And I think, like, to get my foot in the door and to expand my thinking, it was necessary because I had to see that this is not what I wanted to do. And the same thing for, like, Google Ads. I don't want to do Google Ads. I don't care about. I think all these things are amplifiers. I don't think that these are the reasons why good products win. And I want to contribute towards the winning in the market share to a good product. So with Google Ads, it's like, Most people who run Google Ads for companies don't even advise the companies on their products or on their business or how they can improve. What they do is they just like run ads to a landing page. A lot of the times they don't even control the landing page, and then they just like tell you, tell the client like, oh, this is what your return on investment was, or this is what your ROAS was, or this is the strategy that we used. And there's no true strategy. It's just literally testing a whole bunch of new campaigns that Google is putting out, and it's very tactical. Same thing for like Facebook ads, although I will say Facebook ads is a little bit more strategic because of the positioning piece and because of like messaging and creative, right? Like you have to nail that and you have to understand how to position the product. But ultimately, like if you start at the product level and work your way down, then everything else is already influenced, right? So that seems like the best thing to do, in my opinion. That seems like the most intentional thing to do. And it seems like the thing that's most impactful for most companies. So why would I do anything else? You know, I think like, I don't know if you guys want to learn this framework or how I'm thinking about stuff. Like, again, I will have this on Substack, but maybe I'll make a course around this because I do think that this is also going to be the future of at least SEO marketing. You know, I can't talk to anything else because I don't really think SEO is marketing anyways, but I think like this is going to be the future because AI and LLMs are going to recommend good products. So if you don't have product positioning down and you don't really carve out what you do, I don't think you're going to be able to succeed. So I think this is the future of organic anyways. But this is the future I was already going towards. Like the way that I came to this conclusion for myself was I had to identify what was the reasoning why I liked some projects. Like one of the things that I worked on Chase Bank years ago, 5 years ago, and I helped launch something called the Education Center, and I helped launch the Freedom Flex card. And I was trying to identify like, why was that such a good experience for me? And it was because of the strategy behind it and because everything that we did was treated like a different pocket of strategy, of product strategy. So even when we launched blogs, no matter what we did, it was all strategic. It was all strategic initiative, and it was very product centric. And I have not been able to find that same type of like experience with anything else that I've done. Even like some e-commerce companies that I've worked with just didn't feel the same. Because a lot of these companies are not strategic. They don't have a positioning angle. They're just like banking on price and trying to run some ads and stuff like that. So it wasn't really fun for me. And I didn't know why. But after being a consultant for the last 2-3 years, just like primarily, like just that's the only thing I've been focusing on. Because you guys know, usually I have like coaching and then I do consulting and then I do courses and then I do like all these other things. I had like affiliate websites and all that stuff, and I decided to shut all that stuff down, and I haven't even been focused on content. I decided to shut everything down to focus on like consulting, and I just came to the conclusion that through doing this work, through like having those moments of disgust, what I really enjoyed, you know? And it was this work. I think this work is creative. I think this work is strategic. I think this work is the work to be focused on, and it's the direction that I want to head towards in my future. Now, as far as like everything else, I still want to make content about like different things like, you know, mindset and stuff like that. But, you know, my goal right now is to become known as the product guy, you know? And then when people see how good I am at thinking about this stuff, then I can make content about other things that people will like. But you have to first start with one thing and do an iteration, you know what I'm saying? And I think like one of the biggest things that I've been falling into as a trap is watching other people, like watching Dan Coe and saying, damn, I know everything that this dude Dan Coe knows. I could just do the same thing because this is super cool. But then I started to realize, well, I can't really do that yet. You know what I mean? Because my following isn't big enough for me to do that. So I have to get people to care first. And it's a little bit different. Like, you have to get people to care based off of what you accomplish. And then after you accomplish all these things, then you can talk about that. And that's not to say I haven't accomplished a lot, because I have. I'm not downplaying my accomplishments at all. I've done a lot. You know, I've generated over $100 million online. Not for me, but for my clients. And I've generated multiple six figures for myself independently and in jobs. So I know a little bit. You know, of course, I still have like struggles that everybody else has and stuff like that, you know, especially as a consultant. It's very up and down. But that's also because I wasn't focused. Like, I was more so focused on taking in work, figuring out what I care about. And now I think I have direction on what I care about. So this is the iteration. So for 2026, like, I'm going all in on this lens. And to the people who say, well, what are you going to do about, you know, like, aren't you scared that AI is going to take this over? It's like, no. See, that's the thing, right? Like, AI can take over all of the tactical stuff, like keyword research. Once you figure out how to pair SEMrush and AI, you can get SEMrush to, you can get AI to like build keyword universes and all this other stuff. All this stupid shit that doesn't matter. Like, all of the stupid shit that doesn't matter, bro. Like, you can get AI to do, right? Title tags and blah, 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 blah. I don't give a fuck about writing title tags. I don't care if that shit gets automated, bro. Like, you can get AI to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, do that. Fuck it. Like, whatever. But, and I feel for the people who are new, because those are usually the entry-level jobs that they give you so that you can get into it. But I don't think that has to subject you to this line of thinking. I mean, to like not being able to think like this. Like, I think like what the entry-level job will be is probably something to do with like an entry-level person handling AI. And even in the process of handling AI, you should still be able to know what to do, in my opinion. So yeah, this is my strategy. This is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to be posting on LinkedIn about. I'm going to be like basically building a brand around this, which is, I have the whole theme, the whole idea of what I'm going to do. And I'm actually going to go full force with this and like keep doing it until I get bored. Once I get bored, then I'll probably stop doing it. But I don't think I'll get bored anytime soon, because I think there really needs to be a question of, because everybody thinks that they contribute to the work, but I think that the question of like, how are good products found is really something that needs to be revisited, because I think it's deeper than what we have been taught. Like, it's deeper than Facebook ads, it's deeper than SEO, it's deeper than Google ads, it's deeper than all of that. And I think a lot of people who work in product, like, I used to look at these people and be like, yo, how did they get paid this much? You know, like product designers and shit like that. But I think they really cracked the code. Like, I think they really understood this. And don't get me wrong, there's some product designers that don't understand this shit at all. So I don't want to say like, oh, it's a hard rule that they understand this. But I do think like this is the direction. Like, this is like, product is the main focus, in my opinion. So at least for me. So that said, thanks for watching this. I just rambled, but yeah, if you've been watching me for a long time, thanks for sticking around, and I hope you follow me to, you know, into this next journey. And this next journey might be messy, man. It might look like, you know, being a product consultant, figuring out how to get in the front of people, or it might also look like, I don't know, like going and get a new job as a product advisor or product strategist or product marketing guy, you know, and then like work my way up. Like, even if I have to start with like, if I was to go get a job as a product marketer and I had to like change the perception of what product marketing should be in order to get what I'm trying to get, then that's the path that I got to take. You know what I mean? So I don't know what this looks like. It's going to be messy and chaotic, especially as everything is changing in the whole marketing landscape. But I think I'm definitely onto something, and this is the direction that I'm going to go in. Thanks for watching. Peace.